Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Matt from Fryerpod.com. Welcome to another episode of Talking Food. So, Easter was just last weekend, and if you're like my family or many other families in the United States, you probably cooked a ham. And you may have a lot of ham left over, or you have that big, gigantic bone. So, one of the things that I decided to do with some of that leftover ham and that big giant ham bone is make some white bean soup. And I want to give a shout out to one of my favorite people that I worked with for a number of years. She won't ever see this video. Her name was Hakoba Ibarra. And if you guys worked at Christie's with me in the kitchen, or you worked in the front of the house at Christie's, she was one of the most badass prep cooks that I've ever seen. And she made the best white bean soup, and I'm going to try to recreate that. I know I was the chef, but hey, chefs don't do all the cooking, that's for damn sure. Anyway, I'm going to show you how I'm going to make this soup. So why don't you come back and join me? Peace. First things first, we've got our mise en place. Everything that I'm going to need pretty much to make the soup. So I took the ham bone and made a simple stock. And if you need to know how to make a stock, you can go back and look at one of the earlier videos where I made chicken stock. This one I just made with ham. So ham, carrot, celery, onion, cold water. Bring it, and bring it up to temperature over medium heat, and then simmer it for a while. Boom, ham stock. Here are my white beans that I soaked overnight. Here is some diced ham. We have rosemary, tomato paste, onion, garlic, and carrots. And if you'll notice, I don't have celery in the mix in the soup. It just traditionally it's not something that we ever put in our soup, and I think that when I learned the recipe originally from one of my bosses at Christie's, we never put celery in it because the weird color that celery would give to the end soup takes away from what we were trying to accomplish. Anyway, that's what we got. So here's what I've done to this point. Medium heat, a little bit of avocado oil. That's my cooking oil of choice these days. Ham, onion, carrot, garlic. Sauteed that for about 7 or 8 minutes, and I'm going to add in tomato paste and rosemary and cook that for another few minutes, and then I will add in the ham stock. Once I've done that, I'm going to bring that up to a boil and add the beans and bring that back up to a boil over medium heat, and then reduce the heat and cook it down for until the beans are soft. Probably will take a couple of hours. So that's what I'm going to do. You'll see that I left the rosemary with the stem and everything. So what I'll do is later on when the soup is all finished, all of those leaves will fall off that stem, but you can easily get the stem right out of there. And you see I've cooked it down. It's starting to get everything's starting to get a really nice, deep, rich color. One of the things that's important about when you use tomato paste is to saute it. It just changes the flavor, adds a depth to the dishes that you're making. So I'm about to add the stock in, and we'll be good to go. We'll check back with this thing in a few hours. So something that just came to mind was the fact that for the amount of beans that I have, there might not be enough liquid. So I will, you may have, and this is something that happens sometimes when you're cooking, you have to make adjustments on the fly. So everything's coming up to a boil. I'm going to add the beans in, see where I'm at with liquid, if I need to add or not, and then make adjustments from there. Just got those beans in. There seems to be a sufficient amount of liquid. However, what's going to happen is the beans are going to start to absorb a lot of that liquid as they cook, and so you may have to come back later and add some liquid in, but we're looking good, and I'll share the results with you guys later. So to this point, the soup has been on just for a little bit, and I can tell that by looking at it. Let me show you a peek over here over my shoulder. I could tell by looking at it and how much liquid has already been absorbed that I will probably have to end up adding some liquid to it, and that's totally okay. One of the things, there's a couple of things that I came back and I said, oh, something I forgot to mention, but one of the things that is super, super important is up until this point, I have not added any salt. Ham tends to be salty, and I don't know. Somewhere along the line, I heard that if you add salt to beans before they're done, it keeps the skin tough. I'm not sure. But I'm not adding any salt because I will be probably adding liquid, and then I'll adjust and add salt at the end to see where I'm at. I want to see how much salt content has been pulled out of that ham that I sauteed, and the ham bone that I made into stock. So that's where we're at. I'll share some pictures on the Instagram later, and you can look for this on YouTube, Fryerpod on YouTube. If you follow me on LinkedIn, Matt Hewitt on LinkedIn, you can see a lot of the videos that I post as well. So I hope everyone's having fun cooking out there. You can like my hat if you want one. Let me know. Take care.